right.
Buenos dias, ¿qué pasó, amigos? John's Moto Garage. As always, welcome back to the channel. The time has come. We're doing finally the Defender hard bag install on the Dyna FXDLS. Huge shout out and thank you to Deviant Fabrications. Stay tuned to the end. I'll give you my final say, my final verdict. Do I think the bags are bad or rad? In addition to that, we'll just do a brief overview of the saddlebags. What makes these ones different than some of the other ones on the market? What are some of the key features that you should know about with these hard bags? Of course, I'll do the installation. It's not going to be a how-to. Check out Dyna Demos for that. I'm just going to stumble through it and get these things on the bike. And then I'll go over some key considerations. If you plan on doing these bags, what are some things you want to consider or keep in mind with them? As always, you guys, if you dig the content, like and subscribe. Hit me up on Instagram at John's Moto Garage so we can boost that Instagram presence as well. The support is much appreciated. Thanks so much, you guys. Let's get on with the video. Let's give it a shot, you guys. Dude, that was way easier than I expected. Wicked easy. Wow, this was easy peasy, super simple getting this thing set up. All right, obviously JK. Of course, we're actually gonna have to do the work. All right, you guys. Now, one thing real quick that I'll, obviously make clear. This isn't a paid product placement, but I did not pay for these. But the idea is doing a candid review. Now, I haven't used any Defender bags before, so I don't have anything to compare them to just yet. But if you watch my initial video where I unboxed these, my initial impression was, first, I couldn't believe just how lightweight they actually are. There's two unique features that have never been done before reportedly on any of the other Defender bags. So first, the bags themselves, and then secondly, the actual mounting system that they're set up with. So the mounting system, well, it may seem like just your simple tubes welded together, and that's what you're looking at here. Bam, bam. So it's a TIG welded subframe with CNC machine components here. And what the subframe actually does is it mounts to the saddlebags using a 3-point system, and it actually mounts to the chassis, which you'll see here momentarily. So you're not gonna have any flopping around, and you shouldn't have any sag either, which I guess is something that can occur with the other saddlebags that don't have that solid mounting setup or system. And in addition to that, because you don't have the wobble or the sag, it works as a crash bar or a guard, which will be perfect for me doing my wannabe stuff. So that's one unique feature. And then the bags themselves, you see here, you've got a urethane seal. They are UV protected. They're flexible, water resistant, 6061 billet aluminum hinges. So it appears to be just your basic Defender bag setup, but there are actually unique features to these that you're not necessarily going to get with some of the alternatives or some of the competition out there. And then you got this easy hinge lock, and it does come with keys as well. And this is super user friendly. As you can see, you're doing that one-handed. Stay tuned to the end. We'll discuss some of the pros and cons of this whole process thus far and my initial thoughts on the saddlebags. And I'll really try to give you guys from the perspective of somebody paying their hard-earned money for these bags, because you're probably thinking, dude, that's great, you got some free saddlebags, but what about me? I'm paying for these. Is it worth it? What are your thoughts? And so that's what I plan to bring you at the end of the video. All right, you guys, let's jump into it. The Deviant Fabrications Defender saddlebags on the Dyna Lowrider FXDLS. Let's hit it. First thing first, Phillips head screwdriver. It has to be Harley Davidson brand. Bam. We're gonna take the seat off. So far, so good. Step that aside. All right, so for starters, you're gonna wanna remove the passenger pegs. Now, I will admit that's one thing initially that I was a little bit bummed out about, because with the wheelie game, I've really wanted with passenger pegs to be able to do the staggered stand-up wheelie practice. It's supposed to be a lot easier. But Deviant Fabrications does have an option, so you can keep passenger pegs with the Defender bags. Great question. Bam, step one of the passenger pegs is officially off. Step two is going to be removing the shocks. T50 Star, 19 mil. It's getting the job done. All right, so I got the first one off. Now what I'm going to do because I got to keep that Öhlins decal facing outwards, is I'm actually going to swap them. Oh, where'd that come from? Alright, you guys, we successfully did it. We pulled the suspension off, but it wasn't without a casualty, dude. I pinched my finger, man. I pinched my finger. Alright, let me go clean this up real quick, and then we shall proceed. Fresca. I couldn't have said it any better myself. Here in AZ, man, it is getting hot. Alright, so we're ready to go. We got the suspension off, and we're going to flip them so that the piggybacks work. So right about now is when I was wishing I was hanging out with Trip_HP Junkie, Bike Builder Bear, as well as Broke FXDL, as well as Dyna Demos. Big shout out to all those guys. They have awesome Harley content, and they actually know what they're doing, so they would be a huge help right now. Thanks for nothing for not flying out to the west side to give me a hand. I mean, what the heck, you guys? Checking out Dyna Demos, gotta figure this thing out.
Alright guys, as you can see, we removed everything, so remove the...
Alright, so I had it flipped around. So this one here, this side, will go like this. I will say one thing initially, this bracket is metal, and so I'm not sure how the metal on metal will do. I'm not super worried about it, but that is something you may want to consider. Do you want to put like a rubber protector piece between it? I don't know. I'm going to do it like this, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not super worried about it. So for me, this would have been a lot easier if I didn't have to swap the Öhlins suspension. Then I would have just done one side at a time, but because I had to swap them, I had to take them both off, and for that I used the lift just to adjust the height to where I can line it up. And believe it, I've never installed a suspension before either, so this is the first time doing all this, but it's always good to learn. Whew, holy smokes. You guys are probably wondering what you're doing in the fridge. I kid you not, my GoPro starts beeping and it says temperature too high, shutting down. Just goes to show out here in the brutal AZ heat, man, what it can do. Bam, so she's coming along. I'm not sure where I left off because my battery ended up dying, but I got this one installed. I'll show you it real quick and then I'll show you on the other side. But yeah, so basically we got this mounting bracket here installed. And then over here, this is where Dyna Demos had to go out and get some extra hardware. This is the hardware off of that was already on the bike, but I'll definitely want something here with the proper nut and bolt here securing it down. We should be good to go. So just a sneak peek. I mean, look how lightweight these are. We're gonna be looking at something like that. So next thing we're gonna do is simply just install the second bracket right here. So the next step is, bam, this piece itself. And it goes like so. Slide one in there. So part of the issues that Dyna Demos mentioned is when you slide this piece on, because it's paint, there's paint on the inside, it doesn't slide on flush. And as you can see, there's a bit of a gap, more of a gap here on this side than what you see over here on that side. So what I'm doing is basically, I'm just tightening it down to close that gap there. And now I'm gonna loosen it up and put the bracket in place. So all I gotta do is get hardware so that I have a more solid connection here. All right, you guys, I'm back from Lowe's. Let's see what we got. I spent like $8.95, I think is the total. Somebody had asked me if you could install these with the rivets on the other side or the hinges, and you're not able to. The reason being is because you clear this space here for the mounting bracket slash suspension. So it's gonna open like that. Great question though, great question. All right, so I got these all secured down. I still haven't tightened it down here. The bolt that I got is way too long, so I'll have to get a shorter one. So again, the hardware that you need is gonna be for this piece here and that piece there. Otherwise, it comes with all the hardware needed, and of course Dyna Demos goes over that also. But now we're going to do the actual install the bags to the mounting brackets or to the support system. So grommet, little metal spacer piece, goes right through the middle, spacer, bolt, spacer, lock nut, and the lock nut goes on the outside. Again, Dyna Demos, gracias. So there you have it initially, and there's on the outside and on the inside. Not sure if you can see that too well. And so it's actually going to be easier if on this little rubber grommet, before you put that spacer in, install the grommet or the rubber piece into there first. So I'm taking the spacer out. I'm going to install it into here first. We got everything installed. Because of the GoPro dilemma, I wasn't able to document all of that, but I did use 2 spacers up here just to fill in that gap. Those spacers were actually included with all that extra hardware. They're probably meant for something else like the reflectors, but they worked out. Comes with 4 keys actually, so they are locking, which is pretty solid. You can hide your diary in here. You can hide like all your personal belongings. Nobody will be any the wiser. And just to give you an idea, they do feel pretty solid, you know? It doesn't feel like they're going anywhere. So there you have it, the initial install on the Deviant Fabrications saddlebags. I'm pretty stoked on the look so far. Leave a comment below, what do you guys think? So a few things you gotta look at is 1, functionality, 2, ease of install / installation, and 3, durability, longevity. Now obviously I can't speak to the longevity, haven't had the bags long enough, haven't put them through the paces. As far as the install goes, it was actually easier than I anticipated. However, I did have the help of Dyna Demos because they did their video. I feel like they were kind of like the guinea pig. Now, I like to say if I can pull it off, I think anybody with any decent mechanical skills will be able to do the installation. The downside is obviously you do have to pick up some additional hardware. It would be nice if there's some like instruction pamphlet and or if that hardware came included. Alright, so some of the things to consider with these hard bags, they're not the type of bags that come on and off easily, so once you install them, plan on keeping them on long term. Secondly, you got to get some type of rear turn signal relocation or delete because you got to remove those turn signals. Third, if you're running passenger pegs, you got to get an additional mount so that you can keep your passenger pegs and or just go without the passenger pegs. Depends on you. Some of the total pros with these is the mounting system, the way the bracket and the hardware is set up is it's a very sturdy, stable, and durable mounting system. So not only do you have the functionality of having saddlebags, but in addition to that, you have more or less a crash bar. So if you, heaven forbid, lay the bike down, you're going to have that protection there as well. They're weatherproof, UV protected, not to mention they're set up very lightweight. So riding on it with the saddlebags, it doesn't really feel any different than when you don't have the saddlebags. They're locking and they're wicked easy to use. So those are some of the key features. When it comes to saddlebags, honestly, for me, and I think for a lot of people out there, in addition to functionality, you're looking at style. The Defender bags, it's a classic style. It's one that you love or you hate, you dig it or you don't. And I was never really a fan or a non-fan of the Defender bags. I just hadn't really looked at them. Now that they're on the bike and I see it in person, I actually dig it a lot more than I expected I would. So for that, I say it's pretty dope. So final verdict, I know what you guys are wondering, bad or rad. My opinion on the Defender bags, I say they're totally rad for sure, and I would dig them. I look forward to getting some more use out of them. Super convenient when I jump on the bike to go for a spin. I don't have to throw crap in my backpack anymore. I throw it in the hard bags. If I gotta lock up when I jump into the grocery store or run into the bank or whatever it may be, you've got the extra keys that come along with it. So it is a pretty dope system. It's functional, it's got the style, and it's durable. You can't ask for a whole lot more. Check out Deviant Fabrications. I want to say these things will set you back $500 to $600. I'm not sure exact on the specifics, but hit him up on Instagram, and I'm sure he can go over that with you guys and answer any questions you may have. Another big shout out to Deviant Fabrications for sending these out. I look forward to getting some more good rides and videos with them, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Hit me up again on Instagram at John's Moto Garage, and like and subscribe if you dig the content. The support is much appreciated. Gracias.